3 years ago, I set out to construct the most powerful nootropic stack for focus, motivation, and sheer cognitive horsepower. I logged hundreds of hours, sampled endless amounts of cognitive performance chemicals, and ran beta tests with soldiers from the United States Army. And after massive experimentation and ruthless trial and error, my work had finally paid off. I found what I was looking for. Boom. Secure a bottle of the Cortex Nootropic Stack Generation 1 at LiveCortexcom. Our clientele seem to be, I mean, at least the ones that communicate with us about how the stack affected them, how it relates to their work. Executives, lots of executives, lots of corporate workers. Surprisingly, not a lot of college kids. I mean, I guess the media taught them that like Adderall is a smart drug and that's what they use or something. I mean, we got to get natural stuff into the universities for sure. That's one of the things like we're going to target as a company in the realm of business development here in a bit. Moms, like I know this chick is my friend and she's got 2 kids, 2 daughters, and she wakes up, goes to work, comes home, at 5, and then cooks for them, cleans, and like tends to them, helps them with homework or whatever. Like she's a legit full-time worker, then comes home and is a mom. And the difference between her brain performance being able to endure through that nighttime, all that nighttime cognitive tasks is Cortex. So people like that. And then entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are a huge part of our market. We get emails every day of folks being like, hey man, I'm in a startup company. We just raised 10 million bucks. And yeah, now we got to grind. So, I mean, this product is helping me to like, quadruple my productivity in the morning or the afternoon or whenever I take it. That's critically important. When you raise money for a startup or something, you got venture capitals backing you. It's significant. You got to get to work and you got to make a lot of money and you got to sell your company for them. Anyway, a bunch of other people, nootropic experimenters. Secure a bottle at LiveCortex.com for what's being called the only pre-made stack that works. We are as I am as transparent as I can about everything and as technical as possible. I built a stack that actually worked well for me, better than anything else. And when we asked people what they wanted in a stack, through the beta testing process, they said we want natural modafinil. So that's what we try to target. Very stimulatory, very effective, very noticeable, very discernible, not subtle. LiveCortex.com, LiveCortex.com. Thanks for supporting the broadcast. Thanks for listening to my commercial. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped about it. That's the thing. It's a good product. I have no problem. Someone told me I was underselling the product. And look, I'm trying not to be salesy, but I mean, it's a good product. Okay, so got my coffee. Do I take nootropics in the morning? The answer is no, I don't. I wait a couple hours, and if I'm going to take nootropics that day, I used to, and that was in like a particular stage in one of my businesses where I was waking up, grinding, like just grinding, and then going to bed, But I realized after some time, like I've been taking nootropics on and off for 8 years, experimenting with them, different, all the chemicals available, and as you get into I feel like the latter years of my nootropics experimentation, I've made a bunch of different distinctions, and the distinctions really started to come in like at year 4 or 5. Less is more, things of this nature, cofactors, things like that. And one of the things for me is that in the morning, particularly an hour or 2 after I wake up, it is counterproductive for the rest of my day to start like at 100 miles an hour. It's bad enough that all of us wake up with all the bad things that are going on in our lives in our heads, like right when we're laying in bed, like, oh shit, think about everything. It's bad enough that happens. If you can stand it, if your job lets you, or if you're an entrepreneur, ideally, or whatever, then, or if maybe you just had to go to bed earlier, wake up an hour earlier, or whatever. I think it's important to like consciously de-stress in the morning before you hit your day. You might wake up and whatever, but just sort of put yourself in a conscious de-stressing and sort of toning your brain down. That's what I do. And so I wake up, take a shower, and I drink coffee. And in that hour, and sometimes it's 2 hours, I'll go and walk in nature. Go walk out back here on the grass, like in bare feet in my house. I will, or some other nature thing. Possibly ride my bike around on a trail, and that's essentially it. And I don't really think a whole lot about what's going on in my day, what I need to do. I find a cloud that just clouds my ability to achieve the objective of resting and calming down the nervous system and putting it in a place where it's level, and then I can go approach things. After that hour or 2 or however long, then I sit down and write, you know, it's basically a to-do list, very basic to-do list of things that I got to do. And then if I'm going to take nootropics that day, that's when I do it, because I'm so relaxed at that point, and I'm in a good state. You know, I've eaten something, I drank some coffee, I walked around. You know, I thought about maybe some other stuff, but very calmly and very consciously trying to be very calm and have slow thoughts, not overwhelming rumination in the, you know, frontal lobes or anywhere. And then, since I'm in a good place at that point, because I consciously did that, and it's like, all right, 1 p.m. or 12 p.m. or even 11 a.m., depends on how early I wake up, then it's like, okay, and we're going to go work and sit down and do some work. Boom, nootropics. You know, if I'm going to take nootropics that day, we'll go with modafinil, we'll go with Cortex, or we'll go with the AACT stack. Alpha GPC, Alcar, Caffeine, Theanine, which we did a blog post about, which you guys should check out here. It's super awesome. It's an incredible stack. You know, and Noopept or whatever, myriad of other just, you know, different combinations, and then I'll go proceed throughout the day. Typically these days for me, I mean, this is the thing about nootropics, I think Cortex is one thing that I'm quite sure did this because of how it builds phosphatidylcholines. I've got a better signal and membrane fluidity as a result of the uridine and the CDP choline there. But many other nootropics over the years, I think I'm almost convinced that my brain just works better at baseline. Today I didn't take a nootropics. Look at me. I mean, you know what I mean? I just sit. This is my second cup of coffee. That's it. Anyway, and so, you know, usually, yeah, a dose of nootropics in the morning will really keep me functional the entire day. Right, because I'm really working on sleeping well. I do that nature thing in the morning and all the rest of that. So yes, I do not take nootropics first thing in the morning anymore. I realized a significant part of some of the problems with my health over the last 4 years was stress. It's not the problem, but it just makes all the other underlying issues worse. And so, you know, I just realized I don't want to ruminate about crap in the morning when I wake up. Sometimes, and I get a better output out of myself if I take the first, you know, hour, couple hours or whatever, just to walk in nature and relax a little bit. And there's no way I can really do that with nootropics, because the moment my brain starts working better from infusion of acetylcholine or infusion of dopamine or infusion of, you know, modulation of acetylcholine receptors or release from like the racetams or something, better functioning hippocampus, better functioning prefrontal cortex. As soon as that happens, what do I do? Relax. You know, it's like, no, I want to work. I want to get things done. Now I'm on top of it. Let's go. And so that's my story on that. Do I suggest doing that? It all depends on what works for you. Again, you know, in a company that I just closed within the last year, I used to take nootropics right away first thing morning and go grind. So it depends on what stage you're at in your life. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I, you know, can wake up and do nothing for a couple hours if I want to, and just, you know, whatever. And then that's necessary. I think as a side note, you know, you want to do everything you can to build your life in a manner where you can do stuff like that. So nootropics in the morning are not a bad thing. I just don't do it because I want to be calm for the first couple hours, and then when I'm in a good place, it's Cortex time, it's modafinil time, it's androstatin time, it's oxiracetam time, or whatever. Not all together. Absolutely separate. Less is more. Thanks for watching.